Open-ended questioning. To use transformational leadership in the choral music classroom, one aspect that we can use is open-ended questioning. With that in mind, when I speak of open-ended questioning, I mean it in not only these four ways which I will discuss, but a multitude of ways. One way that we can utilize it is in trying to discover meaning of text with open-ended questions, asking our students what the meaning of the text is that they are singing. When they go through the Brahms Requiem, Selig sind ist die Toten, blessed are the dead. So what do we mean when we are speaking that to our audience? What does it mean overall, literally? Number two, phrasing. What did the composer intend to do with this certain phrasing that he put in here? These actual marks of articulation. What do those staccatos mean? Third, dynamics. Why is this section soft? Why do you think the composer intended it to be soft? Why do you think these sections are building towards this point here? Fourth, composer intention overall. What do you think the composer's intention was for this entire section of the piece? Why do you believe that he chose to order the movements in such fashion? These open-ended questions that don't particularly try to get our students to create an opinion and agree with it, but first we ask them to create an opinion of what the composer believed. The next section would be establishing opinions. Through transformational leadership, we should always try to involve the opinions of our followers or constituents in order to get them to work to their full potential. If we allow our choristers to establish opinions and understand that their opinions are recognized, we can get them to work better for us. Establish opinions on the text. What do you think the text means? What does this text draw from you? When you hear these texts, what memories are brought back up in your mind? When you hear Zeitumschlungen Millionen, millions fall before you in Beethoven's 9, what do you perceive that to believe? Compositionally, when you hear this piece, what memories are brought back to you? When you think of Heilig ist der Herr by Andreas Hammerschmidt, Holy is the Lord, what do you believe about that text? What does that bring from you? Group intention, and this is a very large opinion, a very large and important bullet, I think, of applying transformational leadership. Establishing a group intention can help the singers to unify their sound in a different way. Instead of having 24 students who have different opinions about where the climax of a phrase is, you can get the ensemble to agree on it and build towards that climax together. Establishing a group intention of what the text means, drawing from each individuals who would like to share their opinion about what is going on. Allowing each person to put a small piece of input in to create an idea and identity for the ensemble that will help them to reach the goal of a great performance. Artistic interpretation. I think that artistic interpretation is also very important because when we allow the students to create the mood or setting or how they want to deliver a phrase, it allows them to be more responsible of what happens musically. It allows them to take control and take reins of the movement of the music. And instead of simply waiting for the conductor to initiate a move or a gesture that allows them to think, this is what we need to do, let's start now, they have an intention before they even start the music. They think about what they need to do to deliver this piece in an effective way. They think about how they want to attack a phrase before they flip the page to it. Instead of waiting for a conductor to breathe for them, they have the intention behind their breath. Or waiting for a conductor to cue them in, they know exactly how they want to approach something. If we allow the musicians to create their interpretation based on a group decision of what they want to execute, we allow them to take control of the music and feel that they are being acknowledged. This final section is about creating a group intention overall. Um, the way you want to create a group intention by not simply asking, what should we do in this phrase dynamically, is you can ask these other kinds of open-ended hypothetical scenario-based questions to do a multitude of performing types. And by that I mean you can get your ensemble to perform a section many different ways and come up with a group consensus on which way that section needs to be delivered. You ask questions such as, what can we do to our sound to get the effect of being lonely? What can we do to our sound to get it to be spookier? What can we do to our sound to make it feel joyful? Or, how can we express joy through this passage? How can we express a feeling of solitude in this passage? Instead of simply asking the choir to brighten, darken vowels, to cling together on the dissonances, especially on things that are very dissonant passages, instead of asking a choir to cling to the dissonance, how about you ask them, choir, how can we get the feeling of uneasiness to come across in this section? How can we get the tension to come across better in this section? With all of these three components in mind, these are three main ways that Dr. McGill believes that choirs can be raised the level of we can raise the level of leadership in our ensembles. With all of these different tactics, I believe that the choral education classroom can be shifted from a simple director in a position of leadership, choristers in a position of following, or as a simple constituent. With this transformational model, I believe that the choristers can then move from being simple pawns in a conductor's game to perform for an audience and become a more equal partnership where the conductor and the performers are both striving for excellence.